All right, we are live on YouTube, the home of the Joseph Nasta Jr. Memorial Stratomatic League YouTube page here at youtube.com/at JNJSOM. The commissioner, Kevin Nasta. I am joined by the Mickey Mantle American League president, Mr. Nick Tallarico. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I would say I'm the defending champion. However, we are doing this in the postseason, after the postseason, and unfortunately, I did not get to defend my title successfully this year. But we will go into that a little bit later. But congratulations to the new champion.
Yeah, and that champion would not be me. Um, so anybody watching, that wasn't a kudos to me on that little monologue. There was we have a brand new first time league champion, and not only that did he set history as a first time champion, he set history as the first ever in this league's history, dating back to 2015, and the first time in the years of I've played, which is forever ago, that he is a league champion that finished the season with a losing record.
Yes, he did. Wow.
31 and 35.
I didn't even think about that, and I came close. Well, not close, but I made the World Series with a losing record in 2015. But I did not. I didn't even think about that. And funny enough, another record that I figured out just by thinking about it is I believe he may be the first person ever, definitely since 2015, that beat three JNJSOM champions in a row. He beat me, the defending champion, Robbie, the champion from 2 years ago, and you, the champion from 3 years ago. Or you and Robbie flip-flopped, I can't remember.
Yes. He most certainly did, and looks like the Scooterville Saints are checking in. They are online.
Scooterville.
Good to see them online. Yeah, I mean, he went 31 and 35 during the regular season, and then went 11 and 4 in the postseason. And at the end of the day, he's the first time ever, and now the reigning and defending league champions. So congratulations to Richie Jones and the Chandler Diamondbacks.
Three straight titles for the Mickey Mantle division. Let me just say that one more time. 3 straight titles for my division.
Yep, that is true. Your division, who did not represent well record-wise during the regular season, Lockport led the way at a 43 and 23, 20 games over 500. And then there was a drastic drop-off after that, a 12-game drop-off. Yourself and Chandler tied at 31 and 35. Leonardo making a miraculous sick run at the end of the season, finishing 24 and 42 and making the postseason, beating out the Phoenix Dragons that finished one game out, 23 and 43.
And those will be your first 2 picks in the 2024 draft, which is in 12 days' time.
Yep, exactly. 12 days and 13 hours.
11 days and 13 hours. But yes, you are correct.
Over in the Jackie Robinson Memorial National League, we had the Jersey Shore Surge leading the division and the league with a 51 and 15 record. Cobra Kai finished with Scooterville. Scooterville via tiebreaker finished second at 35 and 31. Then First United Cobra Kai with the same record at 35 and 31. So 3 of the 5 teams finished over 500. Broad Street finished 31 and 35, tied with yourself and Chandler. So I guess Jonathan can brag about his team having the same record as the league champions.
Well, the good thing for me is because of the whole forfeit win that I got in the last game of the regular season because of an ineligible player, I went from the 4th pick to the 6th pick. But with Richie winning, I actually at least moved up to the 5 spot, which is very, very good.
Yeah, good for you guys. And then the New Jersey Killers pulling up the rear at 26-40, and they will be drafting third in the upcoming draft, as we said, that will be happening in 11 days and 13 hours. So
Yeah.
let's see. It looks like we got three people on. I don't. Nobody's reported in other than Scooterville. So report in. Let's see who's watching on the stream. And yeah, let's get to the winners. Of course, the Jackie Robinson Division winner, Jersey Shore Surge. The Mickey Mantle Division winners, the Chandler Diamondbacks, and of course the JNJSOM Cup winners, the league champions, the Chandler Diamondbacks. Again, congratulations to Richie and his franchise. And let's see. I'll take the first column, and you can go with you know what? You take the first column because I had to add one to the second one. So we'll start off with you with the every one of our league leaders in our website has a named after somebody, either memorial wise or had some big impact at Stratomatic somehow, some way. So
when you sent it to me, Kevin, it actually just came in one long list. There's no columns or anything.
Yeah, I just did it in a notepad. So one long list. So it's headed off with the Cy Young winner, which is not the Cy Young like in Major League Baseball, where it declares you the best pitcher of the year. The Cy Young is the league leader in total wins for the season.
Gotcha. So the Cy Young. Sorry, I'm having a little computer problem over here. I'm trying to get it situated. I apologize. So the Cy Young, if I could find this on the list, sir, because I am all over the place. Cy Young. From your division, the Jackie Robinson division, we have Merrill Kelly with 11 wins. And then from my division, the Mickey Mantle division. What'd you say?
The Scooterville Saints, also my division.
Sorry, both from your division. I didn't realize that. Yes, Merrill Kelly and Christian Javier will be sharing the Cy Young for the 2023-2024 season with 11 wins, respectively from Merrill Kelly from the Surge and Christian Javier from the Scooterville Saints.
Yep, and a good the best year in franchise history for Scooterville. They did lose in the first round of the playoffs, but they had their best winning percentage season, and they had a lot of good things, a lot of positive things moving forward for the franchise.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so our second column would be the league leaders in winning percentage. This is pitchers who had a significant amount of wins, not just going 1-0 or 3-0 as a reliever. Two starting pitchers, both from the Jersey Shore Surge. Carlos Rodon at 7-0. And Tristan McKenzie an insane 10-0 with a 1,000 winning percentage.
1,000 winning percentage is just wild.
But which is even more insane is the number 2 and number 4 in the rotation when it combines 17-0.
Say that again. The number 2 and number 4.
Yeah, with 17-0. So meanwhile, my ace, the best pitcher in the league, struggled to win 6 games.
Well, I mean, he strikes out 15 guys a game, but gets 1 run of run support like he did in real life with the Mets.
Well, that's what they say. Most times, Stratomatic does play out to reality.
Well, it's also the way our league works and runs is aces match up against aces. So that is going to happen on occasion where you're going to get no run support because you're facing the other best pitchers in the league.
That's right. All right, let's move on to the big hurt, the Frank Thomas batting champion. We'll give that to you.
Well, this one makes no sense, obviously, because the guy has 0 power in real life. All he does is steal bases. I don't remember him batting all that well last season in real life. I mean, he had a good year, but I don't think he batted crazy. But that is going to be from your Jersey Shore Surge, Mr. John Birdie, who actually came over from a trade from a division rival earlier last season.
Yeah, 5 games into the season. Let me see. What are we doing here? Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna mute. Sorry, everyone. I'm gonna mute this one, and then all right.
Don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. I was getting feedback on my other line, so I muted everything, and I'm jumping on this one.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so yeah, it happens. I have to say this is not the first time that I've had a batting champion that's had a 2 column that I just constantly rolled. I remember years ago, and Jess can contest to this. She's online. She was in the league. I had Doug Glanville years ago. And Doug Glanville had a 2 column, basically 2-2 through 12 had the only outs was like 2-2 and 2-12. And I just rolled that 2 column to death. He batted over 400 that year in the league.
Well, the crazy thing is like he hit for power too, which was, he hit a little bit of power, but he had 23 doubles, 2 triples, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs. Like, it's just wild.
He hit 1 home run in the World Series as well. His card did play to 5 home runs, so he did hit 5 home runs for me for the season.
Oh, yeah, and on top of that, we're probably going to go into this a little bit later, but the guy stole a couple bases, too. We'll get into that a little bit later, but he stole a couple bases.
We'll get there. Our next category, league leaders, the Hack Wilson runs batted in champion. That would be from the Jersey Shore Surge, a guy that started the season as the leadoff hitter, and then when John Birdie was acquired, he got bumped into the number 2 spot, and he just went ham from the entire season, All-Star break on. He even drove home a run in the All-Star game. Ahmed Rosario with 64 runs batted in the how many games played?
Ahmed Rosario played 64 out of the 66, actually.
So he had a 64 RBIs in 64 games played.
An RBI a game average. Oh, and let me not forget to mention the guy batted 327 last year. Like, he hit for you. It wasn't just, he's in the 2 hole, he gets an RBI once a game and bats 250.
He stole some bases too.
Say that again?
He stole some bases too.
Yeah, he stole 40 fucking bases. Oh, my bad. I apologize. He stole 40 or 47. Like, he stole 40 bases, batted 327, 8 doubles, 5 triples, 12 home runs. To be honest, I think he was the most well-rounded hitter on our league last year.
He you look back to that card with the Cleveland Guardians. That was a 200 hit card where he did pop 15 home runs. He drove home over 60 runs.
And he stole 20-something bases.
Yep.
So, he played a little bit crazy past his, over his card. But the bottom line is, in a full 162 game season, I don't think he would have been, I don't think he would have hit like 140 RBIs or anything like that.
Absolutely. We also got to look at it this way with the pro rates that we have in our league for guys who batted less than 360 plate appearances throughout the year. Yeah. There a lot of those guys who are 6 round and over, if they were able to play every single game and have 4 or 5 at bats a game, they might have taken over those spots. But Ahmed Rosario, he had 500 plus at bats last season. He was the 2nd round pick for your team. He had a phenomenal year. Unfortunately, he's not being kept, so he's not going to get a chance to do that again next year. But for a 2nd round pick, that's exactly what you want.
Yep. We have a little comment from Scooterville on the screen there.
What was the comment from Scooterville? Sorry, I was looking up. Nick needs a real set. I know. My computer's all messed up right now. I don't know what's going on. By the way, I'm getting that feedback on my phone too, Kevin. So I think it's on your end.
I don't hear anything.
That's so weird because I'm getting feedback on my phone too, so I know it's not my computer.
It could be your Wi-Fi.
That's possible too.
So,
No
I
big
don't
deal.
know, Jess. You're on, Jess. Let me know if you're getting any echoing feedback.
Yeah,
maybe,
Jess, let me know if you are.
Maybe I need to switch earbuds. All right, next column is you. We got the. She says she does hear it, so maybe it is. Wait, hold on a second.
Okay.
Let's.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Try different earbuds. Hold on.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Any feedback?
I don't think so at the moment. Let me check my computer. I'm going to mute this one.
So let's see. Do we? I don't hear anything yet. It took a little while on the other side, so let's just go with it and see what happens.
All right, maybe I don't know. Don't know what.
All right. I'm logging off. I'm logging off the second account there because I think we're gonna be good.
Yep,
All
said
right.
no feedback.
Perfect. Hey,
Figures the more expensive.
That's what happens when you
the
do
more
live,
expensive earbuds don't. Yeah. What a joke! The more expensive earbuds cause feedback. Okay.
Well, I'm glad it's not my computer because my computer's a little messed up at the moment. So I'm glad it's not this.
All right.
All right. So we were going to
the next category was the Mickey Mantle Memorial Award, which goes to the league leader in home runs.
The league leader in home runs. I'm actually bringing that gentleman's team up at the moment, and my goodness. We talk about this guy having power a lot. I just didn't think that his strat card was going to translate to that power. But not only did he hit for power, he hit for average. But the Mickey Mantle home run champion is actually Pete Alonso. He hit 26 home runs. He played 65 games total, started 64 of them. He batted .318. 25 home runs, 61 RBIs, walked 27 times as well. Just had a phenomenal season up and down for the Broad Street Bats. And to be honest, if you take Pete Alonso off that team, Broad Street doesn't make the playoffs. In my mind, Pete Alonso carried that team to the playoffs.
I agree with that. And if I remember correctly, he had at least 3 walk-off home runs and 2 other home runs that put Broad Street ahead or tied the game in their final at bat. Whether it was the top of the ninth or bottom of the ninth for walk-offs. So yeah, and he hit a huge. Don't forget, he hit a huge home run in round 1 of the NLDS off Edwin Diaz in Game 1, which put them ahead in the 11th inning. Only to see Mookie Betts hit the 2-run walk-off. So he did come up clutch even to his final inning.
You tied it with a solo shot to start the inning, right?
No, Mookie Betts hit a 2-run shot to walk it off.
Oh, you were down 1, and it wasn't tie game when he hit the 2-run. Okay,
correct.
I was already checked out. I was already checked out at that point. Richie was fucking kicking my ass, kicking my butt left and right.
And then, as we mentioned earlier, this is the Ricky Henderson, the stolen base champion, a man that not only led the league in stolen bases, but he shattered the league record, which was set back in 2019 or 2020. It was Alberto Mondesi's 60 stolen bases. I think it was 2019.
I think it was 2019.
Yeah. But John Birdie of the Jersey Shore Surge stole 68 bases this year, and he did that in 65 games. Insanely, he stole 67 bases for the Surge in 62 games.
Yep.
because he stole 1 in 5 games for First United.
Yep. 1 in 5 games for First United.
And he stole 67 in 62 games for me. So,
wow.
And yep. I mean, he was caught 15 times, so he was running a lot.
Oh, he was running literally. He gets on first. I mean, you got to think about it this way. There's not many arms in Stratomatic. Guys who are going to be starting early in the game who have just enough bat to throw guys out. You have one of them, so obviously you don't have to worry about that in Salvador Perez. But who was it last year? JT Real Muto as a -4. I had Maldonado.
Molina had a
-2.
Molina was a -3, if I remember correctly.
And Molina didn't start every game. Maldonado came in late as a backup, and there's no arm. So as a AA, you're running every single time.
Yep, absolutely. All right. So, yeah, congratulations, John Birdie, for not only leading the league in stolen bases, but setting the league record of 68. Also being part of the Jersey Shore Surge, who stole a record high. The previous record back in 2015 was 97 stolen bases, and the Jersey Shore Surge this past season stole 144.
You stole like 45% more bases in less games.
I stole more bases than the entire league added together.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I ran a decent amount. Robbie ran a decent amount. Richie ran a little bit. And that's about it. Everybody else ran here and there, but like those are the 3 other teams that ran consistently. And you beat not just those 3 teams combined, but the whole 9 other teams in the league.
I told you. I warned everybody at the beginning of the season I'm going to be running and often. So,
we knew that. And I mean, Robbie did too. I'll give Robbie a lot of credit. Robbie had more power than you, I felt. And that's why he may not have attempted to steal as much, because his guys were just were already on second, or he was hitting home runs to bring them in. So I felt like if he had a lot more singles hitters on that team, he might have, I don't think he was going to beat your team, but I felt like he might have been a little bit closer. But your team, it was this year, and it always has been, you're a slap hitting team. You're going to hit singles, you're going to steal bases, you're going to hit doubles, you're going to drive them in, you're going to hit a home run on occasion. You traded for power guys. You had Mookie Betts, who you traded for, who had the power as well. And I mean, listen, your team just steals bases. There's never going to be a question about coming out of a draft. Does Kevin have speed? He's going to have speed.
Mookie Betts, dog poo.
Listen, he just didn't show up in the World Series, man, or in the playoffs at all.
Just utter dog poo. Yeah. Well, you got that on YouTube. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, our next category is the big train. Walter Johnson, earn run average champion. Also a league record, a new league record set for a complete season. The record was set back in 2015, and we'll let you make that announcement.
Absolutely. I'm also happy to make that announcement because it's from my division, from one of my division rivals. I want to say congratulations to Robbie Herman as he led Zach Wheeler to the ERA championship at a 1.98 ERA, which is just phenomenal. And it's not just he had a 1.98 ERA and let up a bunch of home runs, but still kept let up a home run a game. He gave up 5 home runs all season. He had a 0.90 whip. He went 9-1 on the season. He had a complete game mixed in there. Only walked 19 batters in 82 innings. He gave up 19 runs, 18 of which were earned, and only had 19 walks on top of that. Like, just a phenomenal season from up and down.
This was the year of the pitcher.
Yes.
As low as that whip was, he was only 3rd in the league in whip. That's how insane the pitching was this year.
Pitching, and that's, I feel like to my team, that's where my team struggled. My bullpen was really, really solid, but my starters were not. And being it's the year of the pitcher for our league, there was no way that I was going to compete without putting up 10 runs a game.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving on to the Mariano Rivera saves champion. We actually had a tie on that, and that tie went to, from the Broad Street Bats, Ryan Helsley, who had 18, and from the Jersey Shore Surge, Edwin Diaz, as the trumpets just went on the screen, also with 18. And congratulations to both those pitchers who had 2 different seasons, though. If you look completely at Helsley's stats and Edwin Diaz's stats, Ryan Helsley looked a lot like John Franco kind of seasons, where Helsley looked a lot like Mariano. Diaz looked a lot like Mariano Rivera seasons. Just tells you how sometimes some stats are overrated. Saves being one of them, because you can have a 3-run lead, give up 2 runs, and get the save, and it looks great in the box scores. And then you got someone like Diaz, who had an ERA under 1 and a microscopic whip of under 0.7. So it was kind of insane. But they both got to the 18 saves on different roads.
And listen, 18 saves in an all-star Stratomatic league is a lot, because you're always gonna see a lot of runs put up, and you're gonna see a lot of blowouts, because some people might be rolling super cold, and the other team might be putting up 7-8 runs, and 18 saves in a Stratum and an all-star league is really, really impressive. And to have 2 people who were on completely different routes individually, it says a lot, and I think that's very impressive.
And it's different. They meant different things too, if you think about it. Helsley had 18 saves. Broad Street had 31 wins. So that's more than 50% of his wins were saved by Helsley, where Diaz had 18 saves. The Surge had 51 wins.
Yeah. And you also have to think about it this way too. You can only throw your relievers in our league twice a series. Right. So they're only playing 2/3 of the games. So, I mean, so you're talking 44 games, and each of them had 18 saves in those 44 games, which it was obviously they might not have even played twice a series, but you're talking 18 saves in 44 games maximum. So, like, that's really impressive on top of that as well.
That's why it makes it so important in the draft to make sure that you have that other guy or other guys. So when your ace reliever is not available, you have something there at the back end of the rotation, which that's kind of where Broad Street struggled. They didn't have that other guy to go to. I was fortunate enough. I had David Robertson to lead on for those other games. So.
And I had a righty and a lefty who were both closer 4s, I believe. So I had a lefty and a righty, so I could sort of actually just mix and match and pick who I wanted to based off of matchups. And going into next season, depending on what relievers I even draft, I already have I have a different righty and a lefty that are going to be in that same spot possibly. So it's good to have options at the back end of the bullpen when you're playing that closer role like we do.
Absolutely. The next award is the Cal Ripken Jr. Iron Man Award. Let you take that.
Absolutely.
2 players in the league, and both, ironically, were first basemen.
Yep. And we had a lot of guys who played 65 games. I had one of them. I know, Kev, you might have had another one as well. We had a lot of guys at the 65 game. You had 3. Yeah. We had a lot of guys at the 65 game mark, but huge shout out to Yandy Diaz from the Jersey Shore Surge. Played all 66 games. Amazing hitter all year for you. I know he batted over 300. I didn't bring up his stats at the moment. But also a huge shout out to Paul Goldschmidt from the Phoenix Dragons. Phoenix may have missed the playoffs, but one of the shining stars on her team was definitely Goldschmidt. Not only did he play 66 games, he batted .318, 23 doubles, 14 home runs, 35 ribbies, 25 walks. Had had a OPS almost 1,000, slugging 570, like just had an all around phenomenal season. On top of playing just Gold Glove defense as well. So yes, she may not have had the outcome that she desired, but overall, it was just a phenomenal season for Goldschmidt.
Yes, absolutely. We got 4 people on the feed. If you guys want to comment on the feed, check in, say hello. We'll give you a little shout out. Next category is the Trevor Hoffman Closer of the Year award. We've kind of mentioned it earlier from the Jersey Shore Surge. That went to Edwin Diaz. He was tied for first with those 18 saves. He led all relievers in ERA, WHIP, strikeouts per 9, and opposing batting average. And also, he led the league in absolutely choking on a chicken bone in the postseason.
My God. Oh, goodness. I can't.
Put it in perspective, folks. Put it in perspective. Okay. Diaz had an ERA under 1. He had a WHIP under 0.7. He had 18 saves. He blew 2. He gave up 3 earned runs the entire season. He struck out almost 14 batters per 9 innings. The opposing batting average was close to 100, and he had an 8.45 ERA in the postseason.
Yikes.
With 2 blown saves, and he was 1-1.
Wow.
And on top of it, 5 home runs allowed. In perspective, regular season, he pitched over 30 games. He had 2 home runs allowed.
Well, the crazy thing is, Robbie had a good bullpen in the regular season as well with Lockport, and he blew 3 saves in that series against Chandler with a trip to the World Series on the line. So Chandler won on late inning clutch hits in both the series against you and the series against Robbie, and that shows through and through that you just cannot just dial it in and just say, all right, whatever, I'm down 2 runs, call it a day. You got to be locked in at all times. And Richie was, and that won him that won him the World Series. He locked it in late in games, down, up by 1, down by 3, doesn't matter. He locked it in, and he made moves when he needed to, and it shows by the blown saves that you and Robbie had in the postseason.
He won the close games. The World Series he won because he won the close games.
Yep.
We each had a blowout to our name. I won 8-1. He won 10-0. That's 1-1 record right there. The other 3 wins that he had were finals of 3-2.
Yep, 3-2, 3-2, and 3-2.
Yeah, so that's how you win. You hold on to that lead late, and look, I had every opportunity in those 3-2 games. I had runners on in the 8th and 9th innings, including my final inning. I had the Albert Pujols comes up as a pinch hitter. He walks. He's the tying run on base. I roll my card back-to-back times, and I ended the game back-to-back outs. So
yeah, Birdie was a strikeout on a 111, I believe.
A ground out. That was the final out of the season. A 111 ground out to short.
Power column, right? No.
He's a 2 column. But he does have 4 possible ways to get on base in the 1 column.
In the 1 column.
But that was from 1-5 to 1-9. So I rolled, which I was all series. If the hit was 2-6, I rolled 2-7. If the hit was 3-8, I rolled 3-9. If the hits on his card were 4-9, I rolled 4-10. It became comical after a while. But look, he did what he had to do. He rolled his card a lot and a lot for hits. And then I told you that one game he won 10-0. He rolled the pitcher's card 7 times the entire game. 10-0 game. He rolled the pitcher's card 7 times. 27 outs to end the game. 7 times. Okay? And out of those 7, only 5 of them were outs. So he still reached base 2 other times on the pitcher's card. So
the champ is in the house, by the way. The champ is here.
They are the champ. They are here. Congratulations again.
Well deserved.
So
Very much well deserved.
we'll move on to the next one, which is the Nelson Doubleday Award, which is given out for the best franchise minor league team. I think your turn. This is a hard award though, because it's going by what the minor league team was at opening day. So any player that got promoted and performed at a high level that contributed from the minor leagues. So take it away.
And I think a big thing with that aspect is when rosters expand late in the season, or when you have an injury, who can come up and perform for you? Who can come up and help you tread water when you have a big injury to one of your big stars? And that's why this award goes to the Roswell Grays of the Chandler Diamondbacks, your JNJSOM world champions. Just to name a couple, he had a guy like Jose Abreu, who only played 13 games, batted .356. Teoscar Hernandez played 9 games, batted .312. Even Eduardo Escobar performed coming up. He had 7 games played. So truthfully, it's about those guys that come up when you're in a short spot, when you have a lot of injuries in big positions, and who can just help you tread water and help you really just stay where you need to stay and get to late in the season where you have a shot. And he kept close to Lockport for a while during the season, fell off, technically beat me for the 2 seed. Obviously we had a little forfeit, a little snafu that gave me a forfeit win the last game of the regular season, which in turn gave me the 2 seed instead of the 3 seed. But I do like to say that he absolutely earned that 2 seed. And he had guys that performed, and some of those guys were on that playoff roster as well. And some of those guys kicked my butt, kicked Robbie's butt, and kicked your butt. So I give his minor league affiliate, his minor league team, and just his management as a whole a lot of credit.
And as we said earlier, his first world championship in franchise history, and then that dates back from the late '80s. So long time coming. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
And this next award, I guess it's really no shock. This would be the Joseph Nasta Jr. Memorial Award for Manager of the Year. And that went to the World Championship manager, Richie Jones Jr. of the Chandler Diamondbacks. So congratulations. You're sweeping up the awards.
Yep. Just absolutely just killing the awards, man. I give Richie a lot of credit. He missed the playoffs last year. You said it on draft day. I mean, when we did our rankings of everybody's draft and how they did and where you thought teams would be and managers would be come playoff time, you named it. You said Richie wasn't going to let last year happen again. And it didn't. Yep. And not only did it not happen again, he got as high as he can go and won the whole thing. So I give him a lot of credit. It's tough to win a playoff series on the road as the road team. It's even tougher to do it 3 straight times like Richie did. I was the 2 seed, so he was on the road. Robbie was the number 1 seed in our division. Richie did it on the road. You had the best record in baseball. He did it on the road again. And that's really, really, really tough.
Yep. And that's kind of what it backfired on me. I was the road warriors of the league when I had 18 consecutive road games when I went 17-1. I had that 1 loss right smack in the middle, ruining an 18-game winning streak. I had a 9-game and then an 8-game winning streak in between that. And then of course I'm like, I get home field and and then I blow it. And I had a 10-game winning streak going into the World Series and lost game 1. Everything that was going my way was signs that it was just bad shit was going to happen. It was just going to happen. On paper, there's no way I can lose. I have a 10-game winning streak going in. There's no way I can lose. And what do? I lose. So, yeah. So, all right. So moving on, we're gonna go with the bringing up the graphic. We'll let you take this. This is the Tom Seaver Memorial Pitcher of the Year Award.
Yeah, pitcher of the year. It's getting a little ridiculous now, Kev. I don't like doing this every single year. It's the same guy year in and year out, ruin our lives, and I'm getting a little sick of it. But that is going to be the man who is once again going to have a really, really good card next year, and that is going to be Mr. Consistency, Mr. Jacob deGrom. deGrom, let me bring this up right now. Jacob deGrom was third in wins, fifth in ERA, first in WHIP, first in strikeouts, first in K per nine, 5 in opponent batting average, first in home runs allowed, and second.
No. First in lowest hits per 9 and second in innings pitched.
Oh, hits per 9. Sorry, there was a little mark. First in hits
per
9.
He was top 5 in home runs allowed, so it tells you he gave up a lot of solo homers.
Even better. So, for instance, Jacob deGrom, he started 13 games. He had 101 in the third innings. Only gave up 76 runs in those innings. 157 Ks and 101 in the third innings. 2 complete games, went 6-3, 2.49 ERA, 0.89 WHIP. Only allowed 14 home runs all season, which is a little over a home run a game. Just a phenomenal start. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kev, this is the third straight year for Mr. Jacob deGrom.
This is his third, and I think his 5th overall.
5th overall, third in a row, 5th overall.
Yeah, because he won in 2015. Yeah, if you go to this site and go to all-time rankings,
okay,
it'll show you.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, because he won I'm pretty sure he won in 2015. And the first year back in 19, and then he won in 21, 2, and 3.
All-time leaders. Let's look real quick. Let's take a look at this. Where are we here? I believe these are franchise archives. We need Tom Seaver Pitcher Award.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're talking 5 years in a row, Kev.
5 years in a row.
You Darvish in 15 from Phoenix.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And then 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
And he was well on his way in 2016 as well.
He was, and then we obviously had our strike year in 2016.
He had 3 starts and an ERA under 1 in 2016.
Wow, we're talking 5 straight. And listen, he's gonna have a card next year too. What did he have? He had like 8 starts this year in the majors or something like that. 6?
6.
So he's gonna have another card that would allow him to have the opportunity to go for 6 straight.
Yep. And right now, this prognosis is he could be back as early August,
which is great. So technically, you hope that he pitches in like September, throws like 4 starts, goes like 5 innings.
I think 6. I think 6 is pretty much the minimum. It seems from comparison of this year. But yeah, I mean, we go from August to September. If he can get 6 starts, that's beautiful. Either way, even if he makes 1 start, he remains with the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, worst case is he's your no car and he's off for a season and comes back.
That comes back with vengeance.
Yep.
All right. Here's the big one. Here's the big one, ladies and gentlemen. And this one took some thinking because we mentioned John Birdie had a monster year. Led the league in batting, led the league in hits. He led the league in total bases. He led the league in stolen bases, runs scored. You had Ahmed Rosario, who was top 3 in batting, top 2 in hits, total hits. top 5 in total extra base hits, led the league in RBIs, second in the league in stolen bases. But we mentioned it earlier. My opinion on MVP is the guy that is the most valuable, not just the guy with the best season,
not the best player.
Okay,
the most valuable.
Not this Ohtani bullshit that's been going on for the past 2 seasons. Okay, because if you put Ohtani on the Angels and they don't make the playoffs, and you take Ohtani off the Angels, they still don't make the playoffs. Okay, 2 years ago you had Vlad Guerrero Jr., who absolutely tore it up, and the Blue Jays didn't make the playoffs on the final day of the year. Okay, they were eliminated the night before, and without his contributions, they're not even in contention to have a chance. Same thing this year. Ohtani wins again.
The last
5 weeks of the season, still wins unanimously. Absolute garbage. So I say my opinion is, you take Birdie off this team, I'm still making the playoffs. I'm probably still winning the division. I take Rosario off this team, same situation. Obviously if I take both of them off, it's different. But if I take one or the other off, I'm probably in the same position. Okay, or I make a trade to make up for that lack of. Okay, so that's why I feel that the George Herman Babe Ruth Memorial MVP Award goes to the man that, if he was not on his team and did not bat over 300, lead the league in home runs, he was second in the league in RBIs, led the league in slugging and OPS, and that is the Broad Street Bats first baseman, Pete Alonso.
And it's not only that he batted .318, had 25 home runs, 61 ribbies, had an 1100 OPS, a 686 slugging, which is just gross, a 411 OBP. It's that the guy played 65 games. He didn't start 2 games, didn't play at all in 1 game. That's it. I looked at it earlier. He hit safely in 48 games, got on base safely in 56 of the 66 games this season. That is just clutch right there for a team who, I will say, I underestimated you, John. John, I was wrong. I am sorry. I will admit my downfall sometimes. I said John was going to win 21 games. He won 31. He won 33% more. Sorry, he won 50% more games than I thought he was going to win.
I said 24, so I was closer.
You said 24. You were closer. I said he was going to win 21 games. He won 31, slightly under 500. Listen, he put up a fight in that series against you. He wins game 1. If he wins game 1, it might be a different story. But once in a 5-game series, you lose game 1 like he lost against you, it's tough to come back. But without Pete Alonso, Broad Street probably doesn't make the playoffs. And if they do, they barely make the playoffs.
Well, let's put it this way again. Like I said before, he had 3 walk-off home runs during the regular season and 2 other home runs that tied or put them ahead in the final at bat. So that's 5 wins right there. So if you take those 5 wins away, he's got 26 wins. Okay. So he's right there in the thick of the race of might not make the playoffs.
Exactly. He's very, very close to that. I'm looking right now. He had 1, 2, 3. He had 25 home runs this season. He had 3 multi-home run games, which is just in strat to have 3 multi-home run games throughout the season and still hit 20 plus. Sometimes you'll have guys who he'll have 3 multi-home run games and have 7 home runs throughout the season. He had 25 home runs during the season and was so consistent that he had 26, sorry, and still had 3 multi-home run games. It's just wild. He had multiple games of 4 RBIs in a game. He had back-to-back games against Kenny at one point in July of of back-to-back 4 RBI games. He had 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in a series versus Kenny middle of the season.
Right. And there's exactly what I'm talking about, because he beat out Kenny for the final playoff spot. So without Pete Alonso, there is another example that he would not have made the playoffs.
Yep.
So that's what makes an MVP. That's the most valuable player.
And you want to know a crazy stat for a guy who does not have a defensive part at all. I know he's a 4. I can't remember what his E rating is. He only had 2 errors all season. And they were early on in the season. And he has a team full of DHs. So Pete Alonso was playing first base every day. Because between Ohtani, Bryce Harper, who was a 4+5 in right field, Pete Alonso was playing first base every single game. And to only have 2 errors with the defense that he has, that's just phenomenal on top of it.
Yep, absolutely. I want to refer back really quickly to the preseason predictions that we did, which can also be viewed here on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@JNJSOM. The only prediction that I made that, everybody likes to bust my balls and say that, oh my God, can't believe you said that shit. Oh, I hurt everybody's feelings. But the only one that I said that didn't happen was that the Phoenix Dragons were going to win that division. They did the complete opposite and didn't even make the playoffs and have the number 1 pick.
I think I had Phoenix at the 2, I believe, right?
You had Phoenix at number 1 and Scooterville at number 1.
Yes.
Okay. I said Scooterville was going to have the best record she's ever had in her franchise history, and she was going to be battling Sean for the number 2 spot. What happened?
Yeah, she tied Sean for the 2 spot and won by tiebreaker. Yeah,
by tiebreaker. Yep. I said that I predicted 24 games for John. He won 31. I said he was gonna have to battle his ass off to get into the playoffs, which is exactly what he did, thanks to Pete Alonso.
Yep.
I said that Sean's team was full of veterans and good enough that he was going to stick around and probably have another winning season. That he did at 35-31.
Yep.
Over in your division, I said you were going to be in the middle of the pack, which
Absolutely.
You were in the middle of the pack.
I said the same thing too. Yep.
And I said Richie was not going to have a season where he was going to allow missing the playoffs by that 1 game to ever happen again. Richie finished tied for 2nd and went on to win the World Series. So the only one that I got wrong legitimately was Amory. I did say that Leonardo was going to struggle because it's going to be a learning on the fly experience for them, which it was. They got hot late, which was great. Puts themselves in a very good situation at the trading deadline by making multiple trades, which gives him 3 rounds of multiple picks early, which is great for him.
Yeah.
Not to mention having the number 2 pick overall. So good for him. And he's got a great core of players coming back. So, next time, folks, when we after we have our draft, as it says on the screen, on the 27th of this month, when we have our draft and Nick and I compile everything and we go to opening day at Strat in Glen Head, New York, and we pick up the set and we sort and we do everything we have to do. And we do that pregame show here on YouTube. And again, I do my predictions. Don't be a crybaby. I've been playing this game way, way too long to know not how the dice are going to roll or going to roll. We all know that, I know how to draft. We all know that I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure my team wins, whether it's changing the complete concept of my offensive strategy from relying on the home run to absolutely stealing every base known to man.
Yep.
Whatever it takes. Okay, we all know that if there's a home run 1 to 16, there's a 99% chance that I'm not going to roll it. I'm going to roll at 17 or higher. Like they say, 50% of the time it works every time.
Yep.
That's the dice roll. With me, 1 to 16, I have a 10% chance of rolling a home run.
Yeah.
You want me to steal a base 1 to 12? Boom, I'm safe. I'm in there. So
I mean,
that's the way it is.
Up until the World Series, even a regular 1 to 15, 1 to 16 stolen base, no problem. You're rolling it all day. You put a 1 to 15 home run on the table, though, sir. It's a toss up for you.
It's problems. It's problematic. I mean, I've watched it happen too many times. It doesn't matter with the dice. I had big jumping Joe Rutilio trying to tell me to change my hand angle and shake my hand over the dice tray, make sure I use the side walls. Like he was, yeah. So that was the good luck charm of Chandler was the former manager of the Seattle Blaze. Richie was undefeated in his playoff series with Joe in the house. So yeah. So again, folks, the 27th, January 27th at Old Glory Restaurant and Spirits here in the Pearl of the Bay Shore, Keyport, New Jersey, 9 a.m. We will have our 2024 JNJSOM entry draft. Real quick, number 1 pick will be the Phoenix Dragons. It will then be the Leonardo Lightning, followed by the New Jersey Killers, then the Broad Street Bats, the Middletown Bearded Bandits, First United Cobra Kai, the Scooterville Saints, the Lockport Herminators, the Jersey Shore Surge, and then the world champion Chandler Diamondbacks. And that's where we'll be on the morning of January 27th. We'll be sitting in a nice, well-secured area just for us for the Joseph Nasta Jr. Memorial Stratomatic League as we head into yet another season of Stratomatic baseball. We like to, as I always do, I gotta do my postseason thank you. So I have to thank, of course, the Stratomatic game company, Hal Richards, for creating such a great concept. And thank you. We always like to thank Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez, who constantly make Stratomatic references on the air of SNY and during the Met games, which is really funny and really awesome, especially when you meet them in person. I met Ron Darling, and the first thing he did when he took his Stratomatic card that I asked him to sign was look at his defensive rating. Then takes a picture of it and sends it to Keith. He says, "Look, I'm a 1 as well." So, yeah, we like to thank McDonough's Irish Pub and Restaurant in Keyport for hosting our draft for 2023. We like to thank Fast Copy Print Center for handling all of our copy needs and for everything for our sheets, our cards, our draft packets, you name it. They currently have our draft packets for this season in the works. Of course, we'd like to thank all the managers over in the American League, the Mickey Mantle American League. Our president, Nick Tallarico, thank you for doing everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Thanks goes out to Bill of the Leonardo Lightning, world champion. World champion Chandler Diamondbacks, Richard Jones. We like to thank Anne-Marie Turk of the Phoenix Dragons, and of course the Lockport Herminators, Rob Herman. Apparently, I'm supposed to also thank my wife, according to Jessica, I guess, for putting up with us and also making us breakfast on many occasions. We'd like to thank the bagel store that Richie Jones always stops and brings bagels to us. I don't know which one it is. I think it's Bagel Bistro on Victory Boulevard.
Okay.
I like to thank my dogs for occasionally peeing next to our feet because we're not paying attention to them. We like to thank in the Jackie Robinson division. We like to thank the Scooterville Saints manager Jessica LaRoche. Yes, it is Beagle Bistro. Thank you, Richie. We like to thank Kenny Klusker of the New Jersey Killers. I still can't believe that you're a teacher. The Broad Street Bats manager John Torrey, and First United Cobra Kai manager Sean Riley. I'm not going to thank myself, but yeah.
And then also my wonderful girlfriend who takes care of all of our secretary needs during the
Yes.
draft as well.
Yes, the assistant to the commissioner, our admin, Tracy. We'd like to thank her very, very much. And yes, we like to thank Bagel Bistro. It's official.
It's official. There it is.
Bagel Bistro, Victory Boulevard in Staten Island, New York. So thank you to them. And of course, we mentioned Jessica LaRoche. She's also the Jackie Robinson National League president. So I'd like to thank her. And like the extra thank you to Anne-Marie Turk, who is our league CFO, our league treasurer. So we want to thank her. And I guess I have to put this up there because my wife won't believe me. So there we go. She'll never believe me. Yeah, I guess we should thank Katie too, right? Right, Jess? We should thank Katie for putting up with our bullshit too as she's passing out on the couch. So and then everybody's significant others. We like to thank them for tolerating our nonsense for all these years. So it's been a good run. That goes out to Annie. Yeah, who knew? I mean, I shared a post on Facebook about, it was January 2014 when I said, man, I miss the days of sitting in the basement with like 12 of my closest friends playing Strat, drafting, the whole day process. It was like a holiday. Absolutely loved it. And who knew, literally a year later, that we would be putting the league back together in 2015. And, we had 15, we had 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We're going on our 8th season with this revamped league.
And we make it work no matter what. I mean, we got a manager who lives in Florida, and we make it work. He comes up for the draft. He comes up when he can to play live. Like we make it work, and we got a great group of 10. We are looking to expand to 12 for 2025. So obviously, please visit the website leaguelineup.com/JNJSOM if you want to send in an application to join our wonderful family.
Absolutely. It's look, we have a good time, absolutely have a good time. And we have a bunch of different people that, do different things. Some people work retail, some people don't. So we have a lot of schedules that we have to get together and try to make work. And for the most part, I would have to say this past season was probably our least problematic scheduling season.
I don't think we had, like, knock on wood, like going into next season, but I don't think we had any major snafus. I had one towards the end of the season. No, it wasn't towards the end of the season. It was sometime during the middle of the season. I had one where I played virtually for one series. No, for 2 series. But besides that, and obviously Sean played virtually. We had a couple random virtual series because of like just random work conflicts. But like we have worked so hard to get the virtual aspect of it up to speed. So if we need to use it, we can use it, which is great.
Yeah. So any final thoughts for you? Any things you're looking forward to for 2020?
Listen, I'm looking forward to the draft. I haven't been able to do as much prep work as I usually do. Started a new job on January 2nd, so it's been a little stressful. Been focused on that, but the next 2 weeks, I'm definitely going to be balls to the wall, gung ho, getting ready for the draft. To me, like as great as the season is, as much as I love actually playing, prep for the draft itself, and waiting to see what the cards look like are still, to me, like the most fun part of a live face-to-face league. Like I love the draft day after you get done drafting, looking at your draft sheet, seeing who you picked, look at the stats, and then when the cards come out, like just searching through the giant, just sheets and sheets and sheets of cards to be like, all right, where's that player that I really, really want to see? Where's Mookie Betts' card? Where's Where's Will Smith's card? Where's Jacob DeGrom's
Ronald
card?
Acuna.
Where's
Ronald
Acuna's
Acuna's
card?
card. Yeah.
Where's this
Yep.
4070 card? Like, where are these cards that I really want to see? Like, I think just waiting to see what your team looks like after you draft it. I think it goes draft. It's tough. I think it goes opening day and then draft day for me, like super, super close to each other, 1-2, with like the most exciting days of the year. And then like our actual opening day of our first games of the year is like right behind that. But just the excitement of being at opening day. You and I go every year. So just like the excitement of being there, getting it, going to the pizza place like we do every year, sitting down while we're eating, flipping through a couple sheets to see what the teams look like. And then when we get home, actually like breaking them down, moving the team, separating everybody's team. So the print shop can take care of our copying needs. It's just such an exciting part. And I can't wait. It's crazy to think that we have our draft in 11 days. And then we actually have opening day for Stratomatic, I believe. I'm about to look. I believe that is 1 month from tomorrow is Stratomatic opening day.
It's snowing here too, Jess.
I haven't even looked. It's probably snowing here as well.
Yeah.
But we have 11 days till 12 days till the draft, and then 1 month and 1 day until Stratomatic opening day, where we're going to be there live, waiting online with the rest of the Stratomatic fanatics and waiting to get our cards.
Yeah, I would absolutely say to me the draft is my all-time favorite. It's like it's like a holiday for me.
Yeah.
Probably, and the reason why I say it's like a holiday for me is because it's super super high anxiety.
Yeah.
Which I can compare to hosting holidays at my house. So it's always everybody's always at the most tightest wound point of their day. But I love it though because it's just it's fun. You get to spend time with everybody pretty much for the whole day. It's almost like a 3-meal day.
Yeah.
You just put all that hard work you did into action, and then it's also fun to see like everybody like I have a game plan, everybody's gun ho, they're ready to go, and then after like 2 rounds, everybody's like ripping up their game plans because it went out the window.
Yeah.
But opening day for Strat is like is a top day for me as well, as far as like going. The opening day playing at the for the season ranks right up there. Opening day real baseball that's like a national holiday to me.
Yeah.
Even though we're disgruntled Met fans, but it's fun. A lot of adults, at our age, a little older now, are doing game nights where they're inviting their friends over once a week or once a month, and they're playing board games. Like whatever, it's Monopoly or Pictionary or Trouble or some other game.
Yeah.
And we're playing Stratomatic. It's no different.
Different.
Our stakes are a little higher. It takes a little bit more time and investment into it. But when you got did you see what you said?
Yes, I did.
Oh God.
Not with you, Jess. Not with you. I'm sorry.
No, that's more like pulled hamstring twister. But that's what it boils down to. It's just it's a day out, even though it's only once a month. It's a day out to hang out with all of us. We have a good time. We eat breakfast. We play. We have we have a good time doing it. We have stories to tell. We have good laughs. This year we didn't have any arguments or fights or nothing. It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I just I look forward to it going forward, and like you mentioned before, hopefully we can expand the league.
Yeah.
I would love to get 2 more teams and branch out to the Tony Gwynn Memorial Central. That's what I've been waiting for.
No, I mean that was our plan last year. Then we obviously had some things happen where we shrunk 2 teams and gained those 2
every
teams.
time we get 2 managers, we wind up losing one, and then that person has to step in and take over the team.
Yeah.
Then we lose the opportunity. But not that I'm aware of. I mean, Chuck, my cousin John would love to play, but he lives up in Pocono, so I don't know if he would want to come down. I know like somebody like Dave Mooch would probably love playing, but I don't know if he'd take it seriously enough to dedicate 1 day a month. Plus his kids' sports schedules are nuts. So it's like, I mean, if I really, really wanted to press it, I could probably get it. But I rather, if we're gonna get 2 teams, I want to get some, people that actually have some playing experience. So there's not that big learning curve where they play an entire season and they're miserable, and then they might not want to play a second season. So, and then you and I, we had some ideas that especially could work in an expansion draft year with a salary cap, because that would absolutely level the playing field where you can't keep a certain amount of players because of the salaries. Which gives big name guys available for the expansion teams.
Yeah, you're only keeping 10 plus your franchise player going into an expansion draft. So it would make that aspect even more like number crunching and being very, very particular about who you keep. Are you going to keep 3 big bats? Are you going to spend and keep one real big ace and then go bats elsewhere? Like, what are you going to do? Like, I think it would make it very, very interesting. And I know you and I throughout this season, we're going to crunch some numbers. We're going to look at some different ideas, break down the player pool into dollar value, and just see if it could work for our league, which I definitely think it could.
Yep, and I like the introduction this year of the prospects pick, which is
that'd be great. I'm super excited about
the final pick of the draft, and the fact that it's a lottery pick. So it doesn't matter where you finished. We're doing a lottery, and if you get the number 1 pick this year, you automatically get the last pick next year. So nobody could get the number 1 pick 2 years in a row.
Yep.
So it levels it off. I mean, you could be lucky. You could get number 2 both years in a row. You get lucky.
Yeah,
but
and for that prospect pick, it's got to be their first year in the league, correct?
Not necessarily their first year.
Okay.
They have to have the minute. They can't have enough to have to be qualified for our league. So they have to have under 99 plate appearances.
Gotcha.
Okay, but in the prior year, they can't have 99 plate appearances. So they can't be like 99. It has to be a true prospect. So if they qualified to be in our league at any point prior to this year, they're not a prospect.
They're not, yeah. If they had maybe 10 at-bats 1 year and then 80 the next year, they still qualify.
Right. Like there's some guys out there that consider prospects that have played in the league for 3 years, but they only had 10 at-bats, 12 at-bats, 15 at-bats. So they're still considered prospects.
They're still technically a prospect, yeah.
Right. So like in the Mets case, Ronnie Mauricio, not a prospect.
Yep.
Because he has enough at-bats to qualify for the draft. Somebody like the dude on the Yankees. What was his name?
Volpe?
No. Obviously he's not.
Obviously.
Austin Wells,
catcher
for the Yankees. He would be considered a prospect because he can't get in the league. He didn't play last year at all, so he'd be considered a prospect. So something like that.
Gotcha. It's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really fun.
It's gonna be fun. And also there was another, which we're gonna go over in the draft as well, rule that's going to be adapted into the draft this year is the qualifications to play in the postseason next year.
Yes. And what was the breakdown for that percentage wise for the
all offensive players must play 25% of the season, which boils down to 16 games played. So that means if he came in for defense, it's a games played. If he had 1 at bat, it's a games played. 16 games played, not started, of the regular season to qualify for the postseason. This includes combined stats if traded. So if the guy gets traded, it doesn't reset. So kind of like John Birdie last year, he played 5 games with First United, and he played 60 games for me.
You said, so those would be combined. 25, right? 25%?
25% of 66 is 16.
16 games.
Right. All starting pitchers must have at least 3 starts to qualify for the postseason. This includes combined statistics if traded as well. All relief pitchers must have at least 25% or 16 appearances to qualify for the postseason. Also counts for combined stats if traded. So there you go. So the days of bringing up a guy from the minors who hasn't played an entire year to play in the World Series, can't do it. He's got to have at least 16 games played. Same thing with relievers.
And you also got to
this is going to teach you.
You also got to think we bring these guys up for the final 12 games of the season anyway, usually. So,
Right.
So right there, if you get them in at any point in those 12 games, that's 12 right off the bat. And then they just have to play 4 other games throughout the season, which usually they are for injuries or you're just demoting somebody because he's not playing well. Like, it's not as hard as you would actually think.
Right. But this teaches you how to manage your team better.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
You want now, obviously, the third catcher doesn't count.
Yes.
Because the third catcher has to be on the World Series roster regardless because of injury.
Or playoff roster. Yeah, playoff roster.
Right. So playoff, the postseason and World Series roster. So that doesn't matter. But as far as anybody else, because you're allowed to bring up 2 other players besides your third catcher. If your third catcher was on your team the whole time at the time of call-ups, then you would have to call up 3 other players. But again, they have to qualify now.
Here's another great part too: is we have our trade deadline at a certain point every year, which is usually like, what is it, end of August, right?
This year was in September.
Well, for my instances, I traded my number 1 and my number 3 my number 1 and my number 4 starters. I brought up 2 guys from the minors who hadn't started all year. However, they ended up having more than 3 starts because of when our trade deadline is. So something like that happens, it's not a big deal.
Right. I don't think starting pitching is really going to be a problem because you have a 5-man rotation and you're only going to use your top 3 guys in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah.
And then your next best starter is probably going to be in the bullpen. So it's not the problem is the relievers and your bench players to get.
And relievers, sure you said it's
your
16 appearances.
16 games, same as the offensive players. 25% of the season.
I'm just going to look at my relievers, for instance, just for like this season, sort of just to see like what that would look
and with
like.
the 3-batter rule, most of you guys probably qualified anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just really curious. I'm pretty sure. I know I brought up 1 reliever late in the season who might not have had 16, but I think besides that, I think everybody might have. Games played. Let's just see real quick. Yency Almonte 40, Adam 40, Rayleigh 34, Gallegos 30, McHugh 23. Yeah. My main relievers who were with my team and on my major league roster all year had plenty.
Yeah, which is going to be most of the case anyway. But if you have that one guy in the minors who might be a lefty dominant reliever, that might be a great time to bring him up for the postseason. You have to get that final out of the inning, and it's a lefty, and they're not going to pinch hit for Juan Soto in that spot, and you need that lefty. You got to make sure that he has 16 games pitched to make the playoffs.
Yeah, like for me, that was Robert Suarez. Once I made a bunch of trades, I brought up Suarez just as an extra bullpen arm, and he ended up only throwing having 7 games pitched throughout the season. Down the stretch. So obviously for me, I would have had to bring him up earlier, so on and so forth. But yeah.
Right. And then we have pitcher injuries. So, there are opportunities for guys to come up because of injury.
How many did we have? Did we have 1 this year?
We had 3.
3. John had 1, right?
John had 1. Richie had 1.
Yes, Richie did have 1.
And I'm pretty sure Sean had 1.
Because I didn't have 1 this year, did I? I don't think. Oh no, I had 1 this year. What am I talking about? Jason Adam, my closer.
That's right. So then maybe it was you, not Sean.
Yeah, it was me. Yep, because it was against John. It was me against John. My closer, first two batters, 666, 666.
Nice.
Yep.
Way to go out.
Yep. And then he was out for like 5 games or something like that. So basically 2 series, which was terrible.
Well, So we know going into the draft on the 27th. We'll go over this real quick with everybody. Make sure there's no head scratching. The main thing is the prospect pick at the end of the draft.
Yep.
And some of these guys are gonna have to stick around until the draft is over because they retained so many players that they're probably only gonna go like 12 rounds in the draft. So they're gonna have to stick around probably for 8 to 10 more rounds chilling
Yeah.
out. So I mean, unless they re-enter, release a player, pick up a player, stuff like that. So I mean, anything can happen. So
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so I think we're good. I think
I think we're all
we're
set,
officially
guys.
done. Yep. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and
Thank you, everyone.
thanks anybody from the outside that's watching. You want to get involved with the JNJSOM? You can hit us up at jnjsom.commish@gmail.com or go to leaguelineup.com/JNJSOM. Our handle pretty much for everything: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter is JNJSOM. So yeah, night, Jess. Reach out. We're always looking for expansion teams. We're always looking for experienced, non-experienced. If you're not experienced, it's fine. We could teach you. We got plenty of copies of game cards and charts and stuff that we can send you, and we can virtually teach you if you don't, if you can't come in person. And there's plenty of YouTube videos out there, tutorials, and definitely groups on Facebook and things like that. So, we want to try to grab some of the community. I've actually been involved in the New Jersey Stratomatic Club, which we are now a part of. So we might be able to get some GMs from that club as well. So
Absolutely.
we'll see what happens. But Nick, you have a great night. Tell Tracy
too,
we
Kev.
said hello, and we'll see her in
12 days.
11 days and change.
11 days, almost 11 days and 12 hours. A little bit less than 11 days and 12 hours.
There you go. All right. Have a good night. Thanks. And thank you, everybody, for a wonderful 7th season of the JNJSOM.
Good night, all.